Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I want to chat with you guys a little bit about having certain muscles, oftentimes smaller muscles, support muscles, things like that, muscles that we might need just to strengthen for overall injury prevention, of training them every single day, right? It's just something that we do as part of our general physical preparedness. Now, you guys see my 4 workouts every week, and at one time it was 6 workouts every week as I was doing Bulgarian training. And then when I was doing full body 3 days a week, you got my 3 workouts. But now I do my own concurrent periodization 4 days a week. And you guys see every single one of those workouts. But like most people who are serious about their lifting, I'm trying to get really seriously strong again. I'm also a middle-aged lifter. I'm in my 40s, so I'm a master's lifter, trying to re-get to not necessarily the strongest strength levels I've ever been, but at least as close as I can without getting hurt. So I think about things like injury prevention, work capacity, just being in general shape, and being physically active. And that's a time when we look at little things that we can do in between our workouts, things that we can do every day that might facilitate those. Now, in my case, and I'm not saying these are the ones I will do forever, I can always rotate these up. But yeah, I actually do things like my abs, my erectors, like my spinal erectors, my rear delts, rotator cuffs, all of those things. Those are things that I do every single day with smaller exercises, really. Band work, base pulls with bands, little things like that. Well, a lot of people say, what's the point? Well, the point is staying physically active every day, right? It's about just staying physically active every day. The majority of us, or at least anyone who's actually serious about their training or their goals, we have set training programming, right? We have a set routine. In my case right now, it's 4-day-a-week concurrent periodization, using some loose ideas off of the West Side Conjugate method, but obviously geared more towards raw lifting and more towards my specific goals of being overall orky and improving things like my standing press, which is an important lift to me. Pretty much just being strong at my big 5, right? The big 5. Squat, bench, deadlift, the press, also some people call the strict standing press, and a weighted pull-up or a weighted chin-up. Those are my big 5. I think that those are what you should be building your base off of. But I obviously have a lot of assistance work, accessory work. I do my max effort days, my dynamic effort days. I do even extra tricep work right now. I was doing extra delt work for a while with smaller movements. I was doing all these things. And we have all of our various assistance movements that we do. We have our set programming. And here's what I'm going to say on a little side note. If you don't have set programming and you don't have a structured progression system and program in place, you're setting yourself up for failure. So if you're not on a set routine, that is really, really a problem. That's a problem, absolutely. So you need to be on a set routine, but then you have to ask, what are you doing in between? What are you doing in between? Because to be really fit and to be athletic and sometimes just to be the best lifter you can be, we do need to be active every day. We need to be doing some form of physical activity every single day. Now, a lot of times that falls under the area of general physical preparedness. In my case, that includes things like kettlebell swings. I'd love to be in a situation where I could drag a sled or push a prowler around. I'm just not in that situation right now in my life. I don't have really the room to do it because I have a 2-bedroom condo downtown. So I don't have really the space to do the things that I would love to do. Even my weighted carries and things. So we could be doing those things, and I recommend that you do those things. We should all be doing some form of list cardio. Whether it's walking your dog, riding your bike. For me, I like to ride my bike for an hour every day. I walk my dog. I occasionally take walks to the grocery store. Just take walks. Load up a backpack, go walk. That's general physical preparedness, is general physical activity. That's stuff we should be doing every day. But then what about active recovery? Well, I think band work and ab work and all that stuff can fall under active recovery. Falls under active recovery. Now, for me personally, these days I tend to do band crunches, standing band crunches. I do band face pulls. I do hyperextensions on the glute ham raise bench. So people would say, well, why did you pick those? Why are you doing those? Because they're muscles that I think need more work capacity. They're muscles that I know are going to be directly related to my big 5. They're going to be directly related to my big 5 as potential support muscles that if they're not strong enough, could cause injury. How do you prevent lower back injuries? By having strong abs and by having strong lower back. Well, what's the problem we run into with lower back? Your lower back doesn't have a lot of actual muscle fibers with good blood flow. It's a lot of connective tissue. It's really hard to strengthen that area. It requires large volumes of work if you really want to do something for it. Well, if you can strengthen it all with really high volume, high rep stuff done all the time and just improve the general work capacity to it, you increase blood flow to that area. You improve recovery in that area. That's beneficial. You protect it by having strong abs. Well, to get strong abs, probably need a lot of volumes of training. A lot of people would disagree with that. I've gone back and forth on that over the years, but I've realized historically I have the best squat and deadlift usually when I have been doing a lot of ab work, because I've tried it back and forth over the years, and I tend to agree with that philosophy. So where you get into, are you going to decide, is Mark Ripto right or is Louis Simmons right? Well, that's a tough call, because I actually like a lot of what both of those guys have to say. They're both very smart guys. They're just very much disagree on certain elements of strength training. Both very intelligent guys, very educated guys, both successful in what they're doing. But I'm going to tend to agree with someone like Louis Simmons. If you want to avoid hurting your lower back, you need to train your abs and your obliques and things all the time. So I do tons of standing crunches. I also agree with Louis Simmons on that. That's something I've said for many, many years. Standing crunches. Standing crunches. Why? Because that's how we do everything. All sports are done on your feet. All right? If you want to be athletic, you need to be doing stuff on your feet. Also, if you need the squat, the deadlift, the standing press, if you need your abdominals to be strong, think about it from a specificity of training perspective. You're going to do all those exercises standing on your feet. You might want to do your crunches standing on your feet. Might seem like a minor point, and it probably is, but if you're going to do something, you might as well get the best carryover that you can. So I do standing crunches, and I do a lot of them. Now, I've also had the topic come up, hey, why are you doing really high reps on those? You said you do 50 plus reps. It's a practicality reason. When you start to get stronger and stronger abs, you're going to find that when you start getting enough weight on something like a band, or enough band tension to where you are doing 10 reps, like a 10 rep max, it might exceed your body weight. Well, that doesn't work very well, does it? Doesn't work very well. But the really high reps, you're getting flushing the muscles more or less. It helps just build, again, circulation in the muscles, extra capillaries. Helps you clear waste products, improves your work capacity, improves the recovery of those muscles, because ultimately, if you're going to train abs every day, you really need them to be recovering. So there's a method to my madness there. Is it necessarily all based on the best science? Not necessarily, but I don't think it hurts. Same thing. How about the face pulls? I do band face pulls every day. I do around 3 sets of 20 to 25. Why face pulls with bands? Building rear delts. Look at some of the EMG data. That's what Brett Contreras found, that the band face pull, and I actually do them the way Athlean X shows it. As much as I might rag on him for some things, the guy is a physical therapist. He does understand that. I'll give him that. I do them exactly the way he shows it. But those band face pulls were found to have the best rear delt activity of anything found, in addition to the fact that they work the side delts just as well as a lateral does. So they're a side delt builder. They're a rear delt builder, in addition to being a rotator cuff exercise. That is a lot of benefits. That's a lot of benefits thrown into one exercise. So by doing that, I'm essentially fixing any potential weak points in my delts. Because people would argue that my training style with all the benching and the heavy focus on the standing press, some people would argue that it might leave me anterior delt dominant. Now, the standing press does work the side and the rear delts better than most other presses, probably any other press. But there's some truth to that. So that will help correct those imbalances, in addition to being a trapezius exercise. It's just an all-around fantastic exercise for your entire shoulder girdle. So it helps build my shoulders up. It helps make me more orky. Because if you want to be an orc, you want to look like an orc, you want to be thick, you really do want big shoulders. You want big delts, big traps. And it really hits those areas that are very likely to be weak points in there. Potentially helps reduce injury on the bench press, reduce injury on the standing press, builds up muscles that you need to look thick and orky and to have lower injuries. So that's the exercises I choose to do every single day, and they're all easy to recover from. They're all really light exercises. They just improve general work capacity, and they're just extra activity just to do every day, just in order to be physically active, in order to do something. Because ideally, you need to do something every day that's outside of your normal training. Particularly as we start to get older, guys, we need to be as physically active as possible. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.